So last year I did a video called "Why We Don't Need an Exorcist Reboot," and it was basically like, "Hey, they're gonna bring Ray, like they're gonna continue this Reagan and Chris McNeil story from the first one," and I told everyone they already did this on the Exorcist TV show, which was very well done. Was a very very good underrated show. So I wasn't really excited for this new Exorcist reboot, but I went in with an open mind. Mm-hmm. I really like David Gordon Green's first Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. I know you hate Kills. I enjoy Kills as a dumb fun movie. Mm-hmm. We were kind of split on Ends. You hated Ends. Yeah. I appreciated what Ends was trying to do.
No. I'm with you, Tony. I'm with you.
I appreciate what it was trying to do. It fumbled it at the end and it didn't fully commit. Mm-hmm. So I went in with an open mind to The Exorcist Believer. And I saw it the other night. I had part of the movie spoiled because I went on the Halloween Horror Nights maze, which just takes you through parts of the movie.
Exorcist dies tonight.
Yeah, and I will say the Halloween Horror Nights Exorcist maze, that genuinely, I know I made a joke earlier, but that genuinely was the one that scared me the most. So I was like, okay, maybe this will be good. Exorcist Believer sucks.
Whoa.
Gil, what did you think?
Oh, this is so awkward. I thought it was better than the original. How do you improve on one? Well, it's got 2 exorcisms. How do you improve on 1 exorcism? I mean, I heard the reviews. I went in expecting something atrocious.
Yeah.
I thought this was not atrocious, but really bad.
Yeah.
I did actually think the first half was solid. Mm-hmm. They did a good job establishing the characters, the relationship between Angela and her dad. Felt very real. It wasn't idealistically perfect, wasn't cynically horrible. I thought it hit the sweet spot. When they brought the 2 girls back and they were doing the medical exams on them, I think one of the things that worked really well in the original Exorcist is you see every step of the process. It's very detailed. This did that too. So it felt real and grounded. But halfway through, I thought the movie completely fell apart. When they brought Ellen Burstyn back, it was like an SNL sketch. Or if you were to do a new scary movie, this is what they would do. They'd be like, I know someone who's been through this before. So bring back the legacy character as efficiently as possible, establish that they have completely screwed up their life in some way or alienated themselves from one of their close friends, in this case, her daughter. And then after that, she's out of the movie so quickly. It's, like I said, it feels like parody. And why was she in there? It felt like an extra step. Like point A, possession. Point B, do an exorcism. But they just add this extra step in between so she can give that monologue about people and how people have to come together. And there were 2 or 3 monologues like that in the movie that felt very cheesy and inorganic. And then the last thing I'll say is that in the exorcism itself, it's a room full of people that we don't really care about. I think the one person we've connected with is Angela's dad. And for most of the exorcism, it's just him looking concerned, him talking to her occasionally. So, and the other thing is there's 2 girls that are possessed, but we spent a lot of time with Angela. The other girl, I feel like we barely see her for most of the movie. So then when we check in on her occasionally, it feels like you're joining this other movie that's in progress that you haven't been watching. And I also felt like her family was almost set up cartoonishly awful. Like you knew her dad was going to be useless by the end. Mm-hmm. So I thought I had a solid first half, and then I felt like the second half was just really bad.
Yeah. What did you think, Joey? I agree pretty much with everything Gil said, but Joey, what do you think?
Same. I think my biggest complaint was that there's too many characters and not enough development, and I didn't have an emotional connection with literally anybody. And again, the nun and the demon thing is so oversaturated. So like, don't have too high expectations. It didn't feel anything new, like kids fooling around with supernatural shit. And I mean, besides that, it was decent. I do think it fell apart in the second half. There were people actually laughing in the theaters, which kind of made it a bit fun. There were a few jump scares that I'm not saying they scared me per se, but they got me going a little bit. But it was still pretty okay. It was nothing fresh, but still decently fun, I guess.
Yeah. Adam, how about you?
I don't know if my cold heart has just been softened or warmed up in the last few years, but I've been kind of enjoying myself with the movies lately. The Exorcist, Justin Bieber was like fully mediocre across the board. I didn't think it was horrible. I think One Take gilded it with his comments. I agree. I thought the first half.
Gil, are you writing these puns down? You got to use these.
I thought the first half was good. I liked the flashback with the mom dying as she's giving birth, and I thought the dad like being a horror. Can we talk about how the dad is kind of a lovable guy, but he's terrible at manners? He's at that high school blocking that fucking bus lane.
Oh God, that was driving me nuts.
I was getting triggered. I'm like, dude, move. You are the bad guy here, and not putting his garbage can up out of spite. Move
How dare he?
Can. Come on.
And Dowd kept yelling at him for it.
She wasn't even being that crass or mean. He just was. Yeah. Anyway, besides that, he was a fine protagonist. I thought the girls did a really good job. I was concerned for them until they got really annoying at the end and they were doing the Exorcist stuff. Then I was like, this isn't scary. It's just kind of tedious and whatever, arbitrary. And like Gil said, the inclusion of the original actress was so bad. It felt so forced. And this movie, you just let's maybe not try to build universes or build trilogies. Let's just focus on making one really good movie and then see how it sticks. And you can tell David is just trying for that new Halloween trilogy and he's holding everything back. Like nothing
Universal.
really has
Universal spent $400 million on just securing the rights.
This is not going anywhere unless it bombs. But
I mean, I don't know if it bombed. I mean, it probably made horror usually makes its budget back. I guess
it's now Apparently, it's now streaming.
I mean, that's every movie these days. So, what did you think?
I didn't say it.
Okay,
but I do want to say I'm obsessed with the original one. So, gentlemen, is it a complete? Do not watch? Is it watch it and be sad? Is it
It's just skip. Watch the TV show. Skip this.
Just completely skip this.
Yes.
Don't even bother wasting time.
It's a
time waster.
The TV show was a better continuation of that story. It was more original. It knew when to call back to things appropriately. You're right. The beginning of this, I'm like, this could just be a different demon possession movie. Sure, call it The Exorcist. They don't all have to be connected, I guess. But yeah, as soon as they bring in Chris McNeil, Ellen Burstyn's character, it just goes to shit because her character doesn't even really make sense to bring.
But she's a dipshit in it too. She goes in the room. She's like, I know how to handle this girl, and instantly she's bodied. It's just
there's ridiculous. Not even they stab her eyes. Spoiler.
No, instantly.
They don't even. So I'll talk about the demon in a minute, but this isn't the same demon who possessed Reagan. And I thought maybe that would be a fun twist because she's like, I know who you are, and be like, no, you weren't ready for this one.
The twist that was actually cool was that both girls are connected and they're both possessed, but they don't do anything with it. There's that one shot where they're looking across the little hospital wings at each other and they put their hands up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna do some cool things. And they have the scene in the trailer where she's like, their hearts are beating in sync. The lady from
you delivered it the same way.
I love that actress. She's from Handmaid's Tale. She's just so dry.
They don't do anything with that though.
No.
I thought that's what the movie's about.
Leads into the finale. It's stupid.
Well, it's in the trailer they go, you have to pick one. Yeah. That is the only reason they bring in two girls, so there's a difficult choice.
Which is
how do you play with that?
I don't know.
There's so much
they could have done more cool shit. But there's no reason to bring her back. Part of me is like, okay, maybe you could have brought Reagan back, but they say at the end of the first movie that she doesn't remember anything unless they consider the second movie canon. She could be like, well, look, I don't remember that first exorcism, but that second one with the weird dream machine, I remember that one pretty well. I remember that one. But so Reagan would make more sense, but not really. They just had to shoehorn someone from the original.
Crystal, did you see the Pope's Exorcist?
No, I hear that's fun though.
That one's fun. I thought that was just schlocky, good time. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like Gil said with the first Exorcist, how there's you see every step of the process from the medical stuff to getting the exorcism approved, but also scary stuff is happening. Not a lot of scary stuff happens in this film. The scariest part in the film is just ripped off from Insidious, where you see the demon behind. You see the demon behind the dad for like a second, like that famous shot from Insidious with the red demon. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I hate Insidious.
I thought you liked it.
No.
I thought you liked the movie.
We literally talked about how much I hated them.
No, I know you hated the new one. I thought you liked the other ones. Okay, anyway.
Wait, is Insidious the one you brought up a little while back?
Yeah, with the red and black.
Okay, and what did you say the character looked like?
Darth
No,
Maul.
that was Sinister, right?
Yeah, you didn't say Darth Maul
No.
before.
Oh, no. Sinister was a different one. Yeah. That was the one who looked like the guy from Slipknot.
Insidious is the one with Darth Maul.
Insidious is the one with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Sinister is the one with Slipknot.
Oh, I guess I forgot the Slipknot reference in that one. Okay, that's what was throwing me when you said that.
Oh, okay.
I think Darth Maul is what he means.
So anyway, the scariest thing for me was just a ripoff of another movie. But yeah, there's like it's like the girls are being a little weird. But I'm thinking about the first Exorcist. You have like the mom going in the attic and the flame shooting. You have them seeing the demon face. There's like little stuff that happens before the big possession. And here it's like nothing. And it's like they're not doing anything physical. I mean, there is a head spin around, which I thought was
that was cool.
That part I didn't mind. So they're trying multiple different religions to exorcise this demon.
Oh, that's cool.
Because the Catholic priest wasn't allowed to do the exorcism. The church denied him.
Really?
And spoiler, I do like when he comes in and the music gets all hopeful and you think he's going to be the one, and then his head spins around and just dies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. That was the one interesting thing. But yeah.
They don't take anything from like, it feels like how you're describing it. They would take more from like Exorcist 3 or something.
No,
like
they
that.
do nothing from Exorcist 3.
They just don't do anything in general. It's just
it just becomes
it's just
the
there.
first one. It was like kind of it reminded me of the movie Prisoners, where like the parents, the two families' daughters get taken away. Way better movie. I don't
get how you guys like The Nun and The Nun 2, but then this movie's just a bridge too far. This feels no worse than Nun 2 to me. In fact, it seems.
I guess because I have lower expectations for a Nun movie than I do an Exorcist movie.
Okay, well that's I mean that's fair. It's just after so many Exorcist movies, I don't know how the expectations are anything other than.
Well, there's only been.
What, there's 3?
No, there's
like of this series.
So no. So Exorcist, there are 4. There's technically 5 movies. The 4th movie, they made it, canned it, remade it, and then years later released the unreleased version. So there's 2 prequels for The Exorcist, starring the same actor that tell different stories. It's
what
a
about
shit show.
Emily Rose? Is that part of the franchise?
That's not part of it. Exorcist 3 though is really good, Adam. If you ever get a chance to check that out.
Okay.
So, like, the 3 Exorcists, the 1, 2, and 3 for me, I love that. I find it fun.
2 sucks. What are you talking about?
I think it's fun.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
James Earl Jones in his grasshopper outfit. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
The first one and the third one are phenomenal. I'll definitely say that. Absolutely phenomenal. So when you're bringing in this kind of movie, I actually was excited. A lot of people were hating on me for saying like, oh, I'm excited about that poster, because the poster is like, to me, it's grittier and it's a little bit more raw. And I'm like, yes, that's The Exorcist to me.
Yeah.
And now hearing what you guys are saying just makes me really sad.
Actually, Adam, have you ever seen Exorcist 3? You said no.
It has the best jump scare.
So Exorcist 3, just a quick thing. Exorcist 3, they shot the movie. The producers asked them to make a bunch of changes. So the writer from the book directs that one. And it was supposed to be called Legion, because that's what the book is called. It is a sequel to The Exorcist, but it was called Legion. And it had no exorcism in it. Huh?
Which is also a different movie.
That is a different movie. But it had no exorcism in it. And then the studio told him, like, you got to put an exorcism in the movie. And he was like, what? So there's this shoehorned exorcism subplot for the end. But I appreciate it because he realized, well, if they're going to force me to do an exorcism, I'm going to do the most batshit insane exorcism. It's insane. This
out of its
exorcism.
fucking mind. Yeah.
Cool. It's like, there's like snakes and demons, and George C. Scott is screaming at Brad Dourif. It's like Chucky. Exorcist 3 is a lot of fun. It's very underrated. People didn't see it at the time because 2 was such a piece of shit. And they're like, well, we're not going to waste time with the third one. Fabio is in it. And so is, what's his face? Larry King is in it. There's weird cameos in Exorcist 3. You should give it a chance.
Yeah, I have like this like bullishness where if a franchise just goes bad instantly, I'm like out. I'm done with the franchise. So like if a Jaws movie gets bad, like Jaws 2 is very mediocre, and then the third one comes out as complete shit, I'm done. I'm out.
Well, again, that's why
all of these are for me. It's like Saw 2, Saw 3, no, fuck that. It's the
that's
same
why the writer-director didn't want to have Exorcist in the title. He's like, no, the second one was bad. Let's call it something else.
Right.
But no, if you talk about a sequel that does something fresh and original, but still builds on its lore, that's Exorcist 3. This is just very generic. It's like, we're just going to do the same shit you've seen before. Hope you enjoy it. I will say in the Halloween Horror Nights maze, they kept showing this demon. And I'm like, is there like a goat demon in the movie? Because that isn't in Exorcist films. Apparently you see this in flashes. I don't have the picture here, but the makeup artist actually on his Instagram showed the full demon. This thing was going to be in the movie. And that's why
the new one?
Yeah, and the new one.
Well, keep in mind, it's a trilogy, most likely.
Oh, I know.
You know it's going to show up at some point.
Yeah, so this thing was supposed to be in the movie. I assume it was going to be a bigger part because they put it in the fucking horror maze. And then you see the movie, and it's just those quick flashes of demons at the end. I think that's the only time you see it.
Is it supposed to be like a reference to the first one with the flashes?
Yeah, but not done well. Exorcist Believer was not very good.